Hi, Merch Money. We are live. What is this, like 2 or 3 weeks in a row?
I know.
We're getting back on track. Jeff,
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, first of all, this is Jeff from Orbitkit. So welcome, Jeff.
Hi.
I don't know if you noticed, but we got a little lazy over the last couple months with the Monday shows. So Christina and I are trying to get back on track. So thank you for helping us get back on track with these Monday shows.
Yeah.
But anyway, for anyone who doesn't know, Jeff has a program called Orbitkit, and that is something that I have used. It helps you to upload to all different platforms. So you can take your merch designs and upload them to Redbubble and several other platforms. But a couple weeks ago, Jeff sent out an email to everybody, and there were so many updates that I immediately emailed back. And I was like, do you want to come on the show? Because I have so many questions.
Yeah.
So Jeff said, yes, thank you so much. So I figured I'd go ahead and just ask all the questions live. I don't know about these updates, so this will be all new for me as well. Oh no, we lost Christina.
Oh.
But anyway, well, introduce yourself, Jeff, and just let us know all the new stuff.
Hi. I'm Jeff Schnitzer. I'm one of the developers of Orbitkit, the owners and developers of Orbitkit. Do I need to introduce Orbitkit at all, or should I just?
Definitely. So, guys, we won't go too much into Orbitkit. We're mostly talking about updates today, but we'll just briefly talk about it. But we do have a previous video that Jeff was on. So if you search in our YouTube channel, you'll see a video where we walk through like how to do everything and talk about a lot of stuff. So that's on there. But yeah, do a brief intro, however you want.
Orbitkit is a design management system, a cloud-based design management system. So, one of the things that we do is, yes, you can, once you have your library organized in this management system, you can easily publish to a wide variety of platforms, but it's also just a convenient way to help yourself get organized. You got to store your design somewhere. It can be on a hard disk that might crash, that's hard to share with a bunch of people. And then how do you attach it's not, a design is not just a piece of artwork, it's also a title, some tags, descriptions, some other information, maybe it's a mature flat design or not. So it's one single consolidated library that we maintain for you. And there's first new announcement is that aspect of it is totally free now. You don't have to sign up or subscribe to use the Orbitkit platform. It's a design library.
I know, like that's how I felt too when I saw the email. I'm like, wait, what? We need you on the show to explain all this. That's awesome. That is a big change.
The second thing that I'll try and the second. One of the other announcements is we've made the subscription fees for actually publishing to the various traditional POD platforms like Redbubble and TeePublic and Teespring, all those sorts of things. We've significantly cut the fees for that because we really want Orbitkit to be a platform. But the third announcement, and what really we've been focused on for most of this year is Orbitkit fulfillment. Now, when we were we've been able to publish via Printful and to various sites like Amazon and Etsy and Shopify and places like that, and that's fine, and that's absolutely staying. That's a critical aspect of Orbitkit. We want you to be able to publish everywhere. In fact, we're actually bringing back our Printify integration, which we turned off because nobody used it, and they kept breaking the APIs. So it was all this work maintaining it for no good reason. But now a lot of people have been asking about Printify, so we're bringing that back. So we still very much believe in Orbitkit as this sort of platform where we are your agent. We're trying to help you put your designs wherever you want them to be. But we do have this amazing new option here. We're calling Orbitkit Fulfillment. And it is, we will fulfill the orders for you for Shopify and Etsy. And we did this for two reasons. First is that we just really didn't have enough control over the publishing process by publishing through Printful or Printify. We're really strong believers in this idea that your design library is this sort of living thing, and you're constantly realizing, oh, I forgot some tags, and I need to, I want to experiment with dropping some prices here on these types of products, or this new color is the hot thing this season. And they should be able to continuously update that. And we weren't getting the level of synchronization that we're used to with Orbitkit by publishing through these platforms. So that's one reason that we are now doing direct publishing and printing of the products. And the second is, I guess we're tired of slow printing in this business. So while Printful and Printify and Custom Cat have like hundreds or thousands of products that they will print on, and the customer will get the product a few weeks later, like these days, if you're lucky. We're focused on a small set of products. It's right now just custom apparel, and it's only, I think, 6 or 7 different items, DTG apparel. And we're focused on getting those out the door ASAP.
That's amazing.
So right now, like more than 2/3 of orders are shipping same day, and 90% of the orders ship in under 48 hours.
Wow. We got to stop right there. Underline that. That's amazing. Because I think your frustration is a lot of people's frustration. That it's one reason why I never really went that. I have an Etsy store that I occasionally turn on, but a lot of time it's on vacation mode because I just feel like I don't have control over the fulfillment process. So I would rather just not have my name on it and just do merch and Redbubble and all these other things. So I think you're absolutely right that you wanted to have control over it and be able to fulfill it faster.
Yeah.
And I should say that's just the beginning, because we have another facility that's coming online later this year. It'll come online in Q4, which will service the East Coast faster. Right now, we have one facility in the West Coast. There will be more facilities, and the goal is not only to have same-day print times, but when it goes in the mail, it shows up in a day or two. So what we're trying, right now, the slowest part of this process is USPS, but we're cutting the mileage out of it, and we'll get to the point where we have essentially an Amazon Prime-like experience where customer orders something and 2 to 3 days later the package shows up. So that's sort of our niche, and that doesn't mean that we don't do phone cases yet. There's a whole lot of things that we don't do yet, and as we're going to add new products very, very slowly to try and make sure that we can keep up our service times. But for all of those other products, you can still use Printful with Orbitkit, and soon Printify when we spin that back up.
I love that because people already are using your platform. They already have it connected to Printful and all these others. So it's like it's supplemental. Like you could do if you need a faster shipping time. Like what happens if somebody orders with Printful? Like they order a T-shirt and then it's taking forever to print or whatever. Can they just contact you and say, "Can you guys fulfill this one?"
Not yet. Okay. What we can do right now. So that's actually the next thing that we are that's coming that's down the pipe is manual orders. So right now you can't sit down and manually place an order. Okay. Although we did have a couple people during when Printful had their just insane 35-day print times. They would set up Shopify stores and were placing Orbitkit fulfillment Shopify stores and placing orders through Shopify by hand, just because we could actually print the orders for them. I mean, that's a pain in the ass. We don't want. I mean, that's ridiculous. A ridiculous amount of work. So we're trying. Obviously, we try to automate everything. Manual orders. A smooth interface for doing manual orders is coming. One thing that we can do and have been doing a lot of lately is we can convert existing orders at Etsy or Shopify from some other company fulfillment to Orbitkit fulfillment. So if you already have a bunch of listings out there on, say, Etsy that are being fulfilled by, say, Printful, you can talk to us and we can push a few buttons and it will switch over to automatically being fulfilled with Orbitkit fulfillment.
Nice.
Wow.
That's amazing. And what type of shirt is it, or what products do you have?
The two tees, we have a basic tee and a premium tee. The basic tee is the Gildan 64,000.
Okay.
The premium tee is the Bella 3001. But I will say that we try not to it's not an absolute promise that that's the product that will be delivered. We want, again, our goal is no matter what, get the product to the customer as fast as possible. So some products are some size color combinations. We're already seeing the supply chains tightening a bit right now. COVID is having an impact. There are a couple size/color combinations for the Gildan 64,000 that just do not exist anymore. They're an extinct species.
Oh, wow.
So we'll substitute if we have to. It's been very, very rare so far. We don't know what it's going to be like going into the end of this year. It's going to be the same for everybody in the print-on-demand space because we all use the same suppliers.
Yeah.
There's only so many companies making T-shirts right now. So we're trying to get as much flexibility as possible. So potentially we might substitute, but that's so far been very rare, and hopefully will always be rare.
Great. Well, let's take a second and just say hi to everybody. There's so many people. Thank you guys. Teresa, and then we have, let me go scroll up. We have Gunnell. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. And then Curtis, how are you? David is saying that he hasn't been using Orbitkit, but if fulfillment time's fast, he may switch over. Speed of shipping, that is a big one.
I should point out that to be completely transparent, we actually publish our shipping time on our website. So you can go to www.orbitkit.com and see a graph of what percentage of orders are taking 24 hours or less, what percentage of orders are taking 48 hours or less, et cetera, et cetera. So we make this public.
Amazing. And Evan, thanks for watching. I'm sorry if I missed you guys, but thank you guys all for being here. I know it was last minute. I didn't post anything ahead of time, so I appreciate you guys all jumping on. But yeah, this is brand new. Everybody's saying this is exciting, and the fast turnaround time, amazing. And I'm so glad that you guys are starting with just a few products, because I know that people can run into problems sometimes when they start something new and then try to do a million products. So you guys are doing it the right way.
Yeah. And I find, it's a lot of times customers are willing to wait for those really unique products, but they're not willing to wait for a t-shirt. And so, when you have a situation like that, I would much rather have my shirts with you guys. And then if I have some other unique products with, Printful or Printify or whoever, customers can wait on those items, but they're not willing to wait that long for just a t-shirt. So.
Right. And we try, and you can still use Printful and Printify with Orbitkit. It's still just one consolidated, design database, and you can. Yeah. So, and we don't mind. We really don't. We, whatever works the best for you is just great.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool that you guys are have still been innovating this whole time, growing. When did you guys start Orbitkit? I forget. It's been a while.
It's probably been close to 3 years, I think, at this point.
Wow.
2 years and change, maybe, since it's been live.
I was thinking it was 5 years or something.
Time, yeah.
This year,
time flies when you're locked in.
2020 is 45 years, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Well, amazing. So how many, because I'm trying to remember all the different places you connect to. Tell us a little bit about that process and the pricing, like what parts are free and what parts aren't free, and who do you connect with, all of that.
Sure. The basic, the basic tooling around it's a database in the cloud that you can store your designs and associate all the metadata with and search it. And we can do imports for you from a variety of services. We can do, you can download your entire catalog. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do. There's an API to the system. All that stuff is free. If you want to publish to using Orbitkit Fulfillment to Etsy or Shopify, that's free as well. There's no monthly fees or anything like that associated with it. If you want to publish to the traditional POD platforms, I don't have a list of them right in front of me right now, but it's like, it's right on our website. There's things, it's 7 or 8, I want to say.
Yeah,
maybe 9. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, that's a subscription fee, a monthly subscription fee, and it just depends on how many designs you want to publish per day.
Nice.
I just lost my train of thought. Sorry.
I think it was $35 a month for 5 a day?
Right. So it's $29 a month for 5 a day.
Oh, it went down. Nice.
Or $59 a month for 20 a day.
Wow, I think those are lower prices than it used to be.
Yeah, we dropped the prices a fair bit. I mean, we just want more people to use it.
Yeah,
it's that simple. It's we found that 20 a day is sort of a sweet spot. Some of the sites get you can push more on some sites than others. Some of them have softer limits, like Spreadshirt. If you start publishing too many a day, you start getting a lot of rejections for dumb reasons, just because I think the reviewer is sitting there going, "I'm tired of this. I don't know what they're thinking. They're very inconsistent." But so there seems to be a sort of a sweet spot around 20 a day, and there are some. We do have some sort of not published plans that are faster if you want to try it. But,
okay. Awesome. Well, this is great. Lots of new stuff.
Yeah.
Do you guys have questions? Oh, go ahead, Christina.
Yep. We have one person with a question here. I can't click on it for some reason. Teresa has a question. She says, with Printify, can you go with your preferred provider?
I think if that answer is, if you're asking the question, I think you're answering the answer. If you're asking the question, I think you're asking. Yes. Printify's integration. It's been a while. We're just brushing the dust off the integration now, but we use the same blueprint approach that we use for Printful, and actually for all of the pod approaches, which is basically you set up one design that looks the way you want it to be, and you use that as a blueprint for all of your other designs that you want to publish. So if you set up a blueprint associated with Dream Junction or something like that, then anything that's published using that blueprint will go to Dream Junction.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what she was asking.
Nice. What else, guys? You have any more questions for Jeff? I know he's been super busy, so we feel very honored that he took the time to come on tonight. So Thank you. And this is probably right during your dinner. You're in California, right?
Yeah, I'm in California. Dinner will be later. It's good. I got time.
For us, it's a little later in the evening.
Yeah.
So
tell us also, people might be thinking, like the skeptics out there might be thinking, okay, this is brand new. Of course, you can provide, turnaround times of 1 to 2 days. I don't know how many customers you have. So tell us a little bit about, your ability to scale quickly, especially during Q4. So.
Sure. We have capacity right now for tens of thousands of shirts a day.
Perfect.
We're not using a tiny fraction of that yet. We're expecting to we're expecting it. We're also that we will, however, number one, we are much more concerned with making sure that everybody gets maintaining that service level than we are with onboarding people. So if we find that we're getting anywhere near that capacity, we will stop onboarding, or we'll turn off new listings, things like that. We're going to be very careful about that. I mean, I'm sure everybody always says that, but I mean, I've seen what happens when back when I was working back at Gear Launch in my old Gear Launch days. That was the very first year. We crushed our capacity in. And it was there was no get there. It was hard to recover your reputation after that.
Yeah.
So we're being a lot more careful, but also we're much more tightly integrated with the print team than we were back in those days. So yeah, everything's being automated. There's a whole bunch of things that I really want to talk to you about and tell you about, but I'm going to save these announcements for when they actually are rolling out, like on the bench. But there's a whole lot of things. No, there's a whole lot of like it's a very automated system. So we're trying to automate absolutely everything. And so there's some neat things that we can do because there are fewer human hands in the process. But it's coming down the pipe. We'll see. Maybe I will tell you one thing that European fulfillment is coming online next month. So currently, everything is being produced in one facility in the Pacific Northwest. We have another facility coming online later this year, and then we have a partner in Europe that we're using, and that's done out of house. That's not it's not our process, but it does get much shorter shipping times to Europe.
Nice.
So that's a big deal because
So
it's a big
you
market.
broke up a little bit. Are you saying the news was that you're going to open a new fulfillment center? Is that what you said?
No, we're bringing a European fulfillment partner online, and so it's done out of house. It's not our process, our machines. It's not our, but it's, it's a lot shorter shipping times to anybody in Europe. So it's got to be done. I don't know, it's not impossible. We might set up a facility in Europe ourselves at some point, but that's a decision to take later.
Okay. Well, sounds great. So Teresa asked the question, where's your fulfillment center located? And you just said, so Pacific Northwest, what state is that?
It's just across the border from Portland.
Oh, okay.
It's in Washington, just across the border from Portland.
Okay, nice. All right. Sorry, just checking up on the comments.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking, is Pretty Merch like Orbitkit? They're just different companies. Yeah, Pretty Merch is more about like your sales and your keeping your stats for your merch account. Orbitkit's totally different. It's helps you to have your designs go everywhere, all different platforms.
Yeah. Now, Jeff, if you don't mind, so I didn't realize that you were with Gear Launch at some point. Would you mind taking a moment? It sounds like, we know that Orbitkit's been around for about 3 years, but tell us a little bit about your experience in the print on demand industry.
So I co-founded Gear Launch, and it's a long and sordid history. I can tell you that one of the people that's working on that's one of the principals on the print team is actually one of the other co-founders of Gear Launch. I don't know anybody at Gear Launch anymore. It's all it's all ancient history. So
yeah. And when was that? When did you guys start up Gear Launch?
I really would have to actually look that up.
Okay.
It's probably 5 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
It's a little more complicated than just that. There was a like the company as a there was a guy who ran a company, Gear Launch, before this sort of like reboot with me and a guy I worked with for a lot over the years, John Stevens and Mike Shell, and then of course Thatcher was this guy. We started basically built it up from scratch in, oh God, I don't know. It's about 5 years ago we started that,
Okay.
and then yeah, it met an ignoble end. How do you say that?
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't really, I really don't want to go into details.
Right. That's totally fine. Yeah.
So had you been doing print on demand before Gear Launch? Like what made you get into that?
Actually, it was funny because so John, my buddy, and I, we've been working together for a long time. We were doing consulting, and just we're techies. I never knew anything about print on demand at all prior to this. Ended up at introduced by mutual friends to these other guys, Mike and Thatcher, who were looking for, basically they didn't have the tech half of a team. Like they had an idea, they had some like they had some relationships with some people in the space, and they had an idea that there would be a product like Gear Launch would be successful, sort of a white labeled Teespring. And we just, I don't know, we all hashed it out, seemed to like each other, and got to work. And it was pretty glorious, just because we maybe 4 months we had the product rolled out the door, and it was an instant success, and it very quickly became a $100 million business.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That reminds me of Undercover Billionaire. Have you guys seen that show?
No.
It's with Glenn Stearns, and he did this like idea of starting with $100 and an old pickup truck and seeing if he could start a $1 million company in 90 days, starting with just $100. So the first week he's trying to like get enough money to get an apartment and get food. So he's like sleeping in his truck and like trying to survive. And then he just goes from there. And I haven't finished. I'm assuming he eventually gets to $1 million, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He has definitely like very quickly. I was like, geez, how do you go from $100 to like he made $10,000? Like I think the second or third week, and I'm like, man. But yeah, but it's so cool that so in 4 months to start a big company like that. It's amazing.
Software geeks talk about the Agile development process, but usually they're sort of like, I don't know if they quite realize what it means when you really go all in with Agile, like, which is sort of essentially doing, you lay out, a direction, and you're doing it's the opposite of over engineering. I try to give you some examples of this. Like, we had the product live, and we're selling products before the integration part where we could actually print them had been written, because a campaign took 2 weeks, and that was plenty of time to do that line of code. Like right. So, but that's the critical thing, is to get the product out in front, get users, get feedback, because you can build. You could spend years building a product, and if nobody ever sees it, when you finally put it out live in the public might just go, whatever, yeah, right? And what have you been doing for the last 2 years? No, get the absolute minimum viable product, and the minimum viable product doesn't actually have to be able to print the shirts if what you're doing is testing whether or not you can sell shirts. So, we follow the same process here, and almost 3 years later, we've got now a very sophisticated system, basically because, with Orbitkit, we got something that was useful to someone out the door. We started originally with two sellers, Aaron and Duncan, and they they basically said, like, we're like, hey, what do you think about this? And they're like, yeah, well, we kind of like this, and we kind of like maybe like this other thing, we constantly improve it. And they're asking constantly. As soon as they finally got the like it's actually doing something useful to them, suddenly a flood of requests came in, and then once we opened it up to the public, suddenly we're getting a flood of other user requests, and we're just
so cool to see the progression of everything, because you're starting this, and then Aaron and Duncan, like Christina, worked with them with
cool.
with what was it called, D4D. So they started that big company, sold D4D, and then they did really well with merch, grew a big merch account. So it's really fun to follow everybody's journey. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, but it's fun it's certainly fun for us, the software development process, where we just basically, I'm in we have this little intercom chat bubble, and our users are talking to us all the time. Like every day I spend, I don't know, maybe a quarter of my day or a fifth of my day or something like that, answering questions. But people are, they're giving incredible feedback. It's amazing. And almost everything in Orbitkit is built in response because somebody had a problem, and this is how we, came up with a solution to solve it for them. Yeah, I love it. In past companies, I feel like as soon as the engineers stop talking to customers, it's all downhill.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Communication's key. Well, Ryan Raymond saying good things about you. He says you're killing it at Orbitkit, and he's saying same-day shipping on shirts for him. So amazing.
Cool.
And then somebody was saying, asking me would I recommend Orbitkit or Flying Upload. I think the Flying Upload guys reached out to me, but I can't remember. It's so hard. I haven't tested it at all. Like, it's so hard for me because every day people message me about products, and I'm like terrified that I'm ever going to recommend the wrong thing. So like 99% of the stuff people ask me to test, I either never test or I do test and never talk about. So Orbitkit's been around a long time, and I've like tested it, so I feel comfortable talking about it on the show. But it's one of the things that's the hardest thing about doing this show is that you want to make sure you say the right thing, and it takes a while to like judge people's characters and judge the product and on all of that. And it's like so anyway. So Jeff, you passed the test for me, so thank you.
All right, thanks. Yeah. I'm not very familiar with all of the products in this space. There are a bunch of them now. Like there weren't any when we launched Orbitkit, and there are a few now. And I don't know that anyone's ever really tried taking. I haven't seen another that's tried to take sort of the Orbitkit approach of, all right, well, this is your design library, and we're going to take care of this, of how you publish it. A lot of them are. They're basically scripts that you run. They're browser extensions that automate your browser and can pull information out of usually something like Airtable or a CSV file or something like that. And that's fine. I mean, if all you're doing, if all you want to do is get your designs, get some designs up and then forget about them, that there's nothing wrong with that approach. Like some of them definitely have more integrations than we do, because automating your browser to do a one-time upload is actually a fairly straightforward and simple thing. Doing this sort of ongoing synchronization where, all right, you want to make some changes, you can update the price in your blueprint and then resynchronize all of your listings is a lot of work. So it's sort of it's different. There's different. There's different. I definitely would not begrudge anyone that wants to try some new system because they promised that they offer Zazzle uploads or something like that, right? We don't have everything. We're adding more. We're adding more as we go. But again, it's a lot more work to do it our way than it is to do it this sort of automate your browser for a one-time upload way.
Yeah. Now, do you guys still integrate, or like is Merch Wizard still partnering with Orbitkit? And
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So that, yeah, they have we built our whole API out for them basically. We've got some people have had some questions recently. So the API is, I feel like, one of the underutilized gems of Orbitkit, and we really do prioritize requests for API enhancements. Again, this philosophy, we're not going to build something out unless somebody asks for it, because we don't want to waste our time building the wrong thing. But yeah, there's one guy has asked for a few things, trying to get to the point where I think he wants to be able to use Orbitkit as a backend for his uploader, like his sort of browser automated uploader thing. So we've added some features to the API for that. Like, we want to be the platform.
Yeah.
And we'll happily add whatever API. I mean, we're techies, like, so this kind of geekery. APIs are very exciting to us.
Yeah. For those of our viewers or listeners who are like, "What the heck is API?" Can you dumb that down for us? Like,
it made
sure, sorry.
awesome. I know that.
Yeah, it's API is application programming interface. It's basically the way computers can talk to other computers. So if you want to script Orbitkit, you can. Merch Wizard, for example, uses the Orbitkit API to publish. Well, I shouldn't use the word publish. To push designs from Merch Wizard into the Orbitkit library, and to synchronize them too. So you can update data in the Merch Wizard database and resync that into Orbitkit.
It requires, which I used that. That was the easiest way for me to use Orbitkit, was through Merch Wizards, because it was just literally pushing a button and it would just go. So I was like, wow, this is so amazing. And it's the same idea. You and Rick both had the same idea, where you need a library of your designs. Like, especially like, for me, I was like, oh, I'm going to get to 10K on merch and then I'm going to stop. Because to me, that was my risk threshold. Like, okay, I will trust Amazon with 10,000 designs and that's it. Because you just never know, like, if merch is going to somehow shut down your account. Now, like, I've realized, like, you actually need more than that, because it's more products and more countries and things like that. So, but I always have wanted a backup, because you just never know. Like, I want to have my designs somewhere else. I don't want to wake up one day and be like, oh my God, I can't log into my account and I don't know how to get these designs out of the account somewhere else. So I always make sure I have a backup, and Merch Wizard was a backup for me. Like, I had everything on Airtable, and then, you guys, I haven't fully utilized. I think I only have a couple hundred designs over there, but I would like to get all my designs over there, because like you said, I mean, it's so important to have a backup and to have a central place where you can send designs to all these other platforms. Or, at some point you could send them everywhere and then start a separate Shopify store and send only a few of them, or a separate Etsy and send a few over there. So I love that concept.
Yeah.
And if you want a third backup, we just pushed out a little Python script, actually, that lets you can download. So first, you can download a CSV file that has all the metadata of all of your designs in it, and then you can run this little Python script against it, and it'll just download all of the all the art files as well. So you can have on your hard, like, we'll help you. I mean, running Python scripts is not necessarily super easy for everyone, but reach out in the chat system if you're struggling with it. I've done this, walk people through it a little bit.
I'd have to call my dad after that and be like, "Guess what I did? I ran a Python script." But he's like a computer programmer who lost all faith in me. I was
cool.
ridiculously bad at my computer programming class.
But if you want all of your art files on a hard disk with a CSV file with all the titles, tags, and descriptions, all right, this is probably the easiest way to get it.
Man, that could be useful. So, there are those other uploaders out there that basically work off of CSV files and locating those things. So I know that there are a couple companies that can push to other platforms that you guys don't currently push to, but that might be a way to do it. If someone had, pulled everything that way, then they can simply do that and upload to those others. So,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we're happy to help with whatever it is that you want, really.
And we probably could just request other platforms. Like if there's somewhere else you guys use, just request it. Just like Jeff said, like if there's a demand for it, I'm sure you guys will come through.
Yeah.
Right.
We prioritize things based on how many people ask for it, really. That's sort of the main thing. Like right now it's manual orders. Everyone's asking for that.
I really think that's a big one. That was one of my first questions, because sometimes you have it set up a certain way and then you run into a roadblock. Like that platform, who knows? I mean, they could have been located in a hurricane. Like we just had a hurricane in Louisiana and Texas. Sometimes like an emergency happens and you need to have it fulfilled somewhere else. So I think that's important.
Yeah. Someone did have a question about shipping to Canada. Is that something?
Yes, we ship to Canada.
Okay.
I know that the shipping times have been erratic. There was a long period of time when USPS was taking a long time, but then again, I just saw something that shipped. Actually, it was over there in a couple days, which seemed awfully short. So I would have to go find out the details. I know that the print team's actually been working pretty hard on trying to get trying to cut down the long tail of people not getting stuff getting stuck in the mail for 2 weeks to get to Canada. But it does have to cross a border. So
yeah. Is the shipping cost the same to go to Canada?
No, there's a schedule of the shipping costs on our in our pricing. There's like 6 or 7 different zones. I'm not sure exactly what it is. We try to US domestic shipping is probably cheaper than you're going to find anywhere else. I mean, base one shirt cost is everybody's charging the same of like $3.99, but we only charge 50 cents per additional item. I feel like the lower you make shipping for each individual item, the more people are likely to buy more things. So we really wanted to cut that out. I don't really understand why other companies are charging a lot more for additional items, because it doesn't really cost that much more.
Right.
Well, that's good to know. That's a good tip right there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so you said there's some things coming down the pipeline. When do you think will be another update or another thing that we can be on the lookout for? Basically, when do we need to schedule you back on the show?
Well, I'm trying to be a little more active about posting in our Facebook group.
Perfect.
So we have the email list and we have the Facebook group, and then there's sort of the release notes that are on the dashboard of Orbitkit. And I update the release notes on the dashboard of Orbitkit with big things. We roll out like a dozen small things every day, and I don't usually make any kind of big announcement. What I really should do is put big announcements on the dashboard, make little announcements for everything in the Facebook group, and then send, I think we've sent 2 emails in the entire history. I probably should send more newsletters.
Yeah, I read the email. That's how I found out about it. So definitely let me know if there's other things, because sometimes if it's only one email, like I could definitely miss it. I get way too many emails a day.
Right. And do you have to be, well, I guess now that there are free plans, then you don't have to pay a subscription to be in the Facebook group, right? Because before you kind of had to be a member to be in the Facebook group.
No, in fact, just today I went over to the Facebook group and said, just approve all, and I'm just hitting approve all on everyone. So anyone can get into the Facebook group now. I mean, it used to be the Facebook group was just, the people that were actively using Facebook. And part of that is, a lot of that is because when you have, when you're doing a lot of the sort of like customer driven development where people are asking you stuff, it's very easy to sort of develop a lot of features for people that aren't your customers, and that can be very distracting.
Yeah.
So we for a long time we were sort of like, all right, we just really want to have a great relationship with the people that are the hardcore users and let them like dictate to us what gets developed. But I think it's much more solid now, and we're much more ready to just let anyone that really wants to talk about Orbitkit come in the Facebook group.
Cool.
Okay.
Is it called Orbitkit Boosters?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
I'm going to join the group. I'm not in it right now.
Cool.
Perfect. Well, we'll have to put the links. I'm sorry, guys. There's no links in the description. This was unorganized. We're still slowly getting back into the getting our act together. But we'll add some links. Let's see. Sorry, I'm answering your questions to join the group right now. There we go. Anybody have any questions? Any last things before we let Jeff go? I know you're busy and you gotta go eat dinner, but we really appreciate you coming on today. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, it's been great on here, and I'll try and be a little less scarce. I'll let you know what if there's something new to talk about. Maybe we can come back.
Come back, or just send me a Facebook message. Or email's fine too. I mean, I saw it, so I guess it worked.
All right.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. I think I'm gonna sign back up. So I was a member of Orbitkit for I think 8 months and never logged in once. So I paid for it.
Really?
I just have the intention of doing it.
Oh,
so.
I'll just, I've had a few people do that, and I'll tell you what I've done every single time is I'll recredit you for for everything you already paid for. Like I won't,
awesome.
I don't.
You know what? I think you did that for me because I think I was the same way. I think I signed up right when you guys first came out, or maybe like 6 months or a year. I don't know. I don't remember when I signed up, but I signed up at some point, didn't use it. And I'm pretty sure that you refunded me. And then I signed up again and was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Because I'm not very good with technology. So to me, like trying to link everything and set up the blueprints, I was like, this is going to be too hard. So I literally poured myself a glass of wine and sat down. And I'm like, I'm not getting out of the chair until this is set up. I will figure it out. And it took me probably way longer than it should have, but I figured it out, got it all set up. And then once it was set up, it was like, okay, it's so easy because you never have to set it up again. Like it's just the initial trying to understand it. And then once I understood it after that, and then especially with the integration with Merge Wizard, I mean, that made it ridiculously easy where you literally had one thing to click and it went everywhere. But just originally setting it up, there's like a little bit of a barrier where, you just have to get yourself to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The onboarding is the hardest part. Definitely. When you're building a piece of software, you kind of have to think about who your users are, and really design for them. And we started from the beginning, with Aaron and Duncan as sort of like our core users. And,
they're so smart though. They're too easy where they'll be like, oh yeah, got it.
Yeah. So it will, but it was sort of a deliberate design decision too, because it's hard to make something that is incredibly easy for anyone to use, but is also incredibly powerful and allows them, to make, like huge changes across your entire, published listings all around the world and a zillion different platforms with just a few button clicks.
What I told Rick and what I've told several different computer techies, I guess it's the right word, is like, if you can explain it to me, then I'll be able to translate to everyone else. So you just have to bear with me, and then I'll be like, all the questions that I ask, like if there's a way to make it easier, but if not, I'll do videos or explain it to the rest of the non-techies out there. And I did figure it out. So guys, if you're not a techie, you can definitely figure it out.
Yeah.
I did it in one day.
Awesome. And if you're ever confused if anyone's ever confused about something, just reach out with that little chat bubble. I mean, Ray or I are online. Well, we're on Pacific time, so I can't say we're online all the time, but that's how we find out where the rough edges are, is when people are like, I'm struggling with this sort of thing. Like, oh, well, maybe we have to figure out how to make that easier to use, or move a button, or rename something, or add some documentation, or maybe even just change the way the feature works entirely. That's
really cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think
we We did have one more question that just popped up. I don't know if you
Sure.
can show it. I can't for some
Oh.
reason.
Teresa's question?
Yeah. She said, are there
Discounts for paid users versus unpaid users?
I'm not sure what that means exactly, but I'm sure that one of you guys have an offer code that you can give to your audience, which will give them the first month for steeply discounted for the first month.
Oh, okay. We'll have to go look and see if we have that. Do you know? Do you know if we have that, Christina? Let's see.
It's on your settings page. You'll find some details about that. There's a referral, but
Okay.
that'll help. So that's the only discount. We don't, Ray and I are background. We're techies, right? We're not really. We sort of accidentally fell into this marketing wheeling and dealing world. So everyone's asking us, are you having like Black Friday sales? Are you going to do this kind of promotion or that kind of promotion? And I'm like, no, we keep it simple. It's like, we just, so it really is like,
okay,
we just don't have a bunch of special.
I think I found our affiliate link. So if they use that, then they immediately get 1 month free? Is that how it works? What did you say?
Yeah, when they if they connect and create their organization through that affiliate link, then when they sign up, or if they sign up to a subscription, then they'll get that first month steeply discounted.
Okay.
And if somebody has trouble with that or whatever, just reach out in the chat and say, hey, I'm, I heard about this on Merch Money Show, and I'll figure it out for you.
All right, great. So guys, I apologize for not having that link ready to go, but I found it, so I'll add it. All right. Well, thanks so much. I think that's about it. And again, just let me know next time that you want to come back on, anytime you have another update, or maybe sometime before Q4, just to let us know if shipping times have changed or anything like that. Oh, yeah. Keep us updated. But thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you very much for bringing me on.
All right. Have a good night. Bye, everybody. See you next week.